Welcome to the latest edition of the Fourth Place podcast.
That's right. Welcome. Marcus the Motivator here again, guys.
The best thing to entertain you while you're taking a shit.
Yes.
So welcome again to our partners, aka the listeners. Who
Yes.
have no financial or any real partnership with the show.
Yep.
Except for the fact that we call you that.
Yes, you
Yes.
are our partners.
All right. So today we have some very interesting news. So to begin with, a teenager in China has had a set of 29 magnetic balls removed from his bladder 3 months after shoving them up his penis.
This is an interesting turn of events in China.
Yeah, it's amazing that anyone's copied your childhood.
Yeah. My childhood was very, very interesting.
Really?
Well, not as interesting as that, unfortunately. Not as interesting as that.
Give us an example.
Well, in fact, I do have a story on this actually to tell one day.
What do you mean one day? Tell us now.
No, I'll tell right now what was going on.
Yeah.
So I got a friend of mine was in fact, he's a nurse, and one day, this is going back a fair while. He was doing a patient came in at the hospital.
Yeah.
And they were like, the patient was going, "Oh, I got really, really itchy balls for some reason."
Yeah.
And the patient, and they couldn't work out why he had itchy balls because he could take a leak, because he could go to the toilet. And it's actually also hurting him to go to the toilet, like take a leak and go to the toilet and urinate. And then they did a whole bunch of tests and examinations on him. And they're like, what was going on? And they found something that was like lining his scrotum, his balls. It turns out he was trying to get off by like getting grass and putting it up up his penis.
Wait, that was what he thought masturbating was.
Well, he was getting off. He was getting off by like putting like blades of grass up his penis.
Oh, don't some blades of grass have like the little spiky bits on the
Could be, yeah. So yeah.
Oh, Jesus.
So that's apparently how he was getting off, and they were getting like all lined in his scrotum or what? Who knows what? I was just like,
you were hard to the end of that story, I guess.
I was just like
turned on.
I was just like, how do you people get turned on? So back to this Chinese guy.
Yeah.
Was he getting turned on by putting all?
No, he was only 13.
13 metal balls.
No. He was 13 years old.
13-year-old
he put 29 up there. They're magnetic balls.
Why would you put 29 magnetic balls? Was it up his butt or up his
pee hole?
Up his pee hole.
So he inserted them out of curiosity. And by the time he felt discomfort and tried to pull them out again, the magnets had separated and some remained inside his urethra. Oh God!
Can you imagine what his penis could have got stuck and could have got magnetic?
Well, what's even crazier is it took 3 months for this for him to do anything about it because he was so embarrassed.
He was doing it.
No, they were stuck up there for 3 months.
Wow, that's wild.
Because he was in Paris to tell his parents.
That is wild. That is actually wild. I'm trying to work out why you would do something like that. Like, as a motivator, one of the things...
Which you're not.
Yes, I am. Even though he likes to think. One of the things I like to work out is I try and understand why people do things. Now...
Boredom?
Yeah, boredom could be one of them. But this one I can't work out why.
I mean, all you need to do is remember your own childhood. Why did you do it when you did it?
Why do you put things up? Yeah, I suppose it's boredom and you're just curious as to what's going to happen.
So you just did it out of boredom?
Yeah, pretty much. Well, it sounds like he put the metal.
No, that's why he did. But why did you do it?
I didn't.
Oh, sure.
No, I didn't.
Sure.
When I was 13, I was doing something completely different.
Such as?
So I was playing with other things instead, not putting metal things up, not putting metal things up my penis.
Inserting up your penis instead?
I was playing with my balls instead.
You were trying to put your own balls up your...
No, I said I was playing with something else. I wasn't trying to put things up my own penis.
Sure, that's very valid.
Have you ever tried doing that?
Every week.
Every week?
Yeah. Mine just stick together so
You're
I can pull
just
them out.
so you're
I'm just better at it.
So you're able to get it back out again.
Yeah. If I only had some magnetic balls here, I would just pull them out and hand them to you.
I'll tell you what, if everyone out there, I'll leave the room and you can start putting magnetic balls up your penis.
No, stay in the room.
No,
if I'm going to do that, if we're going to get the party started.
That's going to be interesting. All right. What other crazy things have happened?
Okay, so this led to another story, also out of China.
Yep.
Where a man woke up from a drunken night out to find his penis had been chopped off.
Well, a lot of people have woken up the day before from a drunken night out.
What, with their penis chopped off?
Not with their penis chopped off, but having had other things. So,
like what?
Was there a reason why his penis was chopped off?
Well, it says he went out with friends for some food and drinks, as you do. He ended up passing out drunk after knocking back half a liter of strong rice wine.
Yep.
He was awoken by a sharp pain at around 5 a.m. and saw that he was covered in blood.
Oh.
He looked down and saw that his penis was almost entirely cut off, hanging by a couple of centimeters of skin. He called out for his brother and went straight to the hospital.
Yeah.
Several hospitals were unable to help him as they were not equipped for such an operation.
They weren't able to help him. Can you imagine going to the hospital needing medical attention and they go, "We can't help you." As if you wouldn't go straight
in and be like, my penis is chopped off. Yeah. Imagine the drive there. Like, I'd be speeding on my way there if that was me, right?
Yeah.
So imagine getting pulled over by the cops, and then
I wouldn't be pulling over.
The sirens go and they're like, pull
I
over.
I wouldn't be getting pulled over.
I think the advantage of getting pulled over is that they would speed it up for you.
How would that speed it up when you're probably stopping for a minute?
Because once you get into the cop car and you stop for a minute, you get in the cop car, they put the sirens on, and then you go.
I'd still keep driving. I
don't feel like you're not going to outdo a cop car if the lights on.
Who cares if the cops are coming with the sirens? Keep driving faster.
You get into the car with the cops with the sirens, you idiot.
Well, I understand that point, but I'd still keep driving because
that's because you're an idiot.
Because the pain and the adrenaline would be too much to want to stop.
I really don't feel like you could concentrate properly with your.
You probably couldn't.
Cut off penis.
with almost a severed penis.
He eventually got into a hospital, and microsurgeons treated him. They were able to attach it and painstakingly repair his urethra, blood vessels, and spongy tissues. He spent a week in hospital under close observation.
That's some solid work by the hospital staff.
And this is a bit of a twist in it. The operation was actually made more difficult by the fact that it wasn't fully unattached, and it would have been easier if they'd actually fully unattached.
So it would have been easier if it had been like fully chopped off.
Yep. So there's a lesson to everyone out there. If your penis is nearly completely chopped off,
chop it off completely.
The rest of it off.
Yeah.
Because it's easier to attach.
And then you can walk into hospital with your penis in your hand and then they can take it, put it in a medicine.
So what you do is
when
when you go in there and you go into the emergency like reception or whatever, and they ask you what's wrong, you just slap your penis on the table
on the desk
and be like,
happens.
That is what's wrong.
Yeah. Now, I want to go back to the start of that story.
Yeah.
What things that can happen on a drunken night out?
Well, yeah, it's probably best to not start at the craziest of having a dick chopped off.
Yeah, that's a bit extreme. Do we have any good stories of people who we've known who have had drunken nights out and
don't know of anyone that's had their penis chopped off.
Not penis chopped off, but we had an Irish friend when we were overseas once.
Yeah.
Who didn't I think he didn't come home we didn't see him home the next day.
Yeah, well, that's kind of mediocre. He just met a prostitute and had sex with her. So that's that story. That's nothing compared to a certain other friend who he left his hotel room with his stuff still in there, didn't check out.
Oh, yeah.
And he was meant to check out the next day.
Yeah.
And at some point the next night he came back covered in dirt with the police and had to get the money out of his bag to pay them.
Yeah.
And prior to that, he had Well, the last thing he remembered was being around a lady boy that he didn't want to know who kept following him.
Yeah.
And he woke up in a police station covered in dirt and didn't remember what happened. He lost his phone and his wallet. And
Yeah, that was, that's right. We remember that. I forgot about that one. That's right. It's amazing what can happen when you're in certain parts of the world.
Yeah.
Crazy things can happen, which is quite wonderful. So,
okay, next story.
yeah.
Someone got their feces tested to see if it's super poo.
What's the definition of super poo?
So there is such a thing as fecal microbiota transplant, or FMT, where one person's healthy poo is put into another person's less healthy body to improve gut health, which was first undertaken in China in 300 AD.
Yep.
And more recently, FMT has been given its fancy name, approved for medical use by some Western countries.
Yep. So is this actually a thing?
This is actually a thing.
So does it medically work?
Yeah, essentially, basically, when you have like antibiotics and different things, they can break your stomach down and whatnot.
Yep.
And by having someone who's never had that and has high-end internal whatever, if you eat their poo or somehow ingest their poo, having it with a nice home-cooked meal, I guess.
So I should pull my pants down and take a shit, and you're going to ingest it so you get super poo. Does that sound about right?
No. You'd have to have super poo first to be
I
able to
already
make
have
that
super
work.
poo.
Yeah, well, where's the proof?
I have super poo.
Okay, prove it.
All right.
Prove it. No. Where's the medical testing?
Medical testing. I don't need medical testing to know I have super poo.
Imagine like the black market super poo people.
Super poo.
I'm sure there's people out there who have a little certain fetish and describe it. I enjoy shitting in people's mouths, so that's why I volunteer myself as a super pooer.
Yeah.
I guess what would be the best sauce to have with poo then? You wanted to get a nice, tasty meal.
I don't know. Broccoli.
How is broccoli a sauce?
Sorry,
fucking moron.
Sorry. You to have one. Oh, I've got the answer for that.
No, the best sauce. I said. What are you talking about?
What to eat? Or what's the best?
Yeah, the best sauce to eat with your poo. If you had to eat a meal of poo, say for some reason,
have it with pork sausage.
For fuck's sake, I said sauce. How many times do I have to explain sauce? Do you know what sauce is?
Yeah.
Have you heard of tomato sauce?
Yeah. Oh, so
ketchup?
You want to have it with
barbecue sauce?
With a condiment? Okay.
What the fuck do you think sauce is?
Anyway, doesn't matter. I thought you were meaning what would the sauce of? No, doesn't matter. I understand. So what best? Could we have some like dressing or paisley with it to make it more?
I don't feel like paisley's going to come.
I don't know.
I feel like you need something strong and nice.
Some chili?
Peppercorn.
Peppercorn.
Peppercorn shit.
What about some peppercorn sauce with that?
Yeah. So then it kind of
some
mixes
brown,
in and you wouldn't
brown
see,
sauce.
You
brown
wouldn't know which
sauce
is which. Yeah.
Have some gravy.
Yeah. Gravy poo.
Gravy for
How do you get your super poo with gravy? Yeah. All right. Well, the next story we have, which is so this is something you're probably going to want for your fashion sense. They've now got shoe condoms, which is exactly what you would expect it to be. Condoms, but for your feet.
Condoms for your feet.
Yeah, they protect your shoes from mud, mess, and rain. No brainer for expensive trainers. Waterproof, dirt-proof, machine washable, and dishwasher safe. They even include a resealable pouch to keep them handy.
So there's no point actually having shoes then?
No, you have your shoes, and then to keep them clean, you put the condom over it.
Seems like...
What?
I understand the philosophy, but I don't see the point.
What do you mean?
Shoes are meant to get like dirty and filthy.
No, they're not.
Because they're meant to protect your feet.
You buy like a $5,000 pair of shoes. You want to keep them nice and clean. So when you go out, you got to put a shoe condom on.
Then you're not showing them off.
You are showing them off because they're a condom. You can see through it.
Jeez.
Do you understand how these things work?
Yeah, I get that at least.
Yeah.
I'm just going to wear my shoes normally.
Can you imagine rocking up to like a high-end nightclub with like really expensive shoes on, but you have them covered in shoe condoms.
Shoe condoms.
Like one of the like most fancy places in the world, and you got shoe condoms on.
Yeah,
I feel like they eat it up. Like that sounds fashion to me. Why stop there though? Why not get hat condoms?
Hat condoms.
That hat you got on that could do with a nice condom over it to protect it.
Well, I do have a case that I put it in to protect it, but when I'm out wearing it, I like it to be exposed and on show for everybody.
Yeah, but then you can catch diseases. I think it's time you prevent your head from herpes and put some shoe condoms on. Hat condoms.
Hat condoms. Okay.
Yeah. The shoe condoms only cost £7.99 per condom.
Yeah, I was going to say, I didn't think they'd be that expensive.
I mean, kind of is.
So,
all right, some guy at the footy of Crows versus West Coast got a meat pie that had no meat in it.
That's not a meat pie.
Well, he bought a meat pie and they forgot to put the meat in it. I feel like we can join stories here going back to the super poo. And what if you had a nice poo pie?
A poo pie?
Yeah.
It sounded like he had a poo pie, to be honest. Let's be honest. Because
Possibly.
if you think about it, if a pie, right, if it doesn't have meat in it, which is usually some sort of brownish, darker color.
Yeah, but there was pictures and there's no like dark inside thing of it.
So
it was like completely empty.
So there was just nothing.
It was just
inside
pastry.
It was just pastry. It's just crap.
I guess.
It's just utter shit. That's literally utter shit.
Yeah.
Quite literally. Like there's just, how can you not put meat in a meat pie? How do you forget?
I feel like how the fuck do you even do it? Like it's a
basic thing.
How do you keep the thing with the air and stuff and it have the space?
And
Because it
then
wasn't
it's not
flat.
just-
Yeah, wouldn't it just be flat
Yeah.
pastry? But
That just doesn't make any sense.
well, anyway, speaking of the shit theme, there's a Netflix documentary called Jailbirds,
Yeah.
which is on people in jail.
Yeah.
And it's some jail somewhere in fucking America.
Yeah.
Anyway, they within the jail, they have this system where they can talk via flushing the toilet.
Yeah.
And like because there are men and women on different floors, they can somehow someone figured out that if you flush the toilet and you clean out all the water and then you put all the water into the sink and then someone else on another floor does that, you can then talk through the toilets. And they literally talk through their toilets to the love of their life. And they also have a way where they can send notes down through there as well.
Okay.
Which they're sending notes through tying up bits of shirts and plastic spoons together, which they then at the end attach a note inside a plastic bag, which they send down, meaning that they have to scoop it through the sewage system, which means it could have shit and whatever covered in their love letters. Yeah. And they even have they were talking about getting pimples and other infections on their face as a result.
Oh my God.
Because to talk through it, they have to like put cups and shit onto the toilet bowl.
Fuck me, so you could have anything in your ear, basically. I mean, like,
but I just feel like it shows the power of true love. True love is willing to put random shit in your ear, literally, to talk to your lover.
I mean, if you love someone that much, then you might want to put shit in your ear.
I feel like you're going a little bit crazy.
But wow, that's a lot to do for.
Send a nice letter.
Yeah, just to send a letter. I cannot believe people actually. Wow, and this is Jailbirds.
Yeah,
in America. Sorry,
Jailbirds is a documentary in America on Netflix about jails in America, and they're like full on fighting over nothing as well.
Yeah, I've heard of like crazy things happening in jails in America.
Yeah,
but that seems pretty extreme.
Kind of. I'm just enjoying you hiccuping.
I know I'm hiccuping at the moment while we're recording this.
Imagine you and your lover had cleared out a toilet and you're talking, and then all of a sudden you start getting the hiccups and you can't talk.
Yeah, that would be something interesting.
No pressure.
No pressure whatsoever.
You're getting shittier and whatever E. coli just so you can hear someone hiccup in your
HIV. Who knows what else you're gonna get, basically. So, solid hiccups going on here. So what else do we have that we're going to discuss?
I thought of what would be the most obscure shit you could think of betting on. We both like betting.
We both like a good punt.
No, we're very innocent and wouldn't do that.
No, let's be honest. We do like a punt.
On random shit.
We punt on all kinds of random.
What's the most random thing you've bet on?
Most random thing. I've bet on a hot dog eating competition before.
Yeah, but that's not even. Didn't you bet on the line?
Yeah.
Yeah, the line of hot dogs. Not just the winner.
Yeah. So I can't stop
watching you struggle.
I'm sure a number of people know that
I'm sure most people don't, so you just explain what the fuck it is.
So the 4th of July in America is their Independence Day.
Yeah.
And I think it's Coney Island in New York.
Yeah.
They have a hot dog eating competition.
The Nathans HotDog.
Whatever
sure
it's Nathan's hot. I think it's sponsored by whoever. And
Nathans are amazing hot dogs, by the way.
Yeah. And they have a hot dog eating competition. And this one guy.
Imagine you got the hiccups during your hot dog.
Yeah, that'd be interesting.
Imagine. Or like the worst moments to have hiccups. We'll come back to hot dogs and that. But I feel like what is the worst time you could possibly have a hiccup?
When you're having sex.
Yeah.
That's pretty awkward.
Nah, it's not as awkward as other times. Like imagine wedding day, like do you take this bride and you're like,
I don't even think the wedding day is.
I think it'd be hilarious if
Can you imagine if you're in the middle of like doing and you're about to and you go.
Yeah, I just feel like that's kind of like not really as.
Anyway.
I feel like there's much crazier times. Like
anyway, enough about the hiccups. Back to
No. We're staying on hiccups. There's got to be more awkward times because I feel like if you had to say, "Do you take this bride?" You're like, "Yep, yeah, I do."
That'd be funny.
Yeah,
that's just funny, actually, more than anything else.
Random speeches. I wonder if it would. Imagine if you're like in the Olympics and you're running like the 100-meter sprint, where it's literally like hundredths of a second makes a difference. And you get the hiccups right as the final is about to go, and you're like there, and you're like, like even like their way that they like go on the thing.
Oh
like,
yeah, because you'd flinch.
Yeah,
you'd flinch.
You'd flinch.
I used to run back when I was in my teens. I used to run track, and you had to be really still before like. But if you had hiccups, you'd flinch.
You know where it would really fucking suck? If you're a sniper. You're a sniper and you're like, and you
shoot the wrong person. Yeah. Whoops.
Someone goes in to assassinate the queen or some other random.
You shoot the king instead.
You accidentally shoot them. Oh.
Yeah, something very different. So yeah, having the hiccups is not a great thing.
What about like, synchronized dancing, of course. But like, what about those swimming ones where they're like,
oh, that'd be interesting.
You're jumping off the thing, you're like, and then you land and your belly flopping.
Yeah, you would make a mess probably.
Yeah,
to be honest. So
I feel like there's got to be even crazier.
They probably are. We just can't think of anything. So
I feel like it'd be awkward if you're doing drugs. You're like, even as a doctor, like you're injecting someone. And you're like,
yeah, that's not safe whatsoever.
You have some kid that's like crying and they're afraid of needles, and then you're like, it's okay, don't cry, baby. And then you give them the injection in the stomach.
That's not good whatsoever.
You miss the arm and like get them
get somewhere completely. Yeah, that's not good.
Get to scar some kid for the rest of their life.
All right.
I know the worst one.
Oh, what? What?
Circumcision.
Oh, that's bad. Cut off too much cock.
Back to the severed penis.
Back to the severed penis. We've gone back to the severed penis. All right. So we've got back to the severed penis because you've had the hiccups.
No, you've had the hiccups.
No, sorry, I still have the hiccups.
Yes.
Let's be honest. All right. So moving on.
Okay, moving back
to the hot dog eating competition.
Yeah, and crazy things you bet on.
And crazy things we bet on.
So yeah, you bet on the line of hot dogs, which is that the person had to eat over a certain amount.
Yeah, it was over under 72 and a half hot dogs.
In, what is it,
10 minutes.
10 minutes, okay.
So, and the best thing about that bet was he ate the 73rd hot dog as the siren, as it went, and I won.
Wow.
And I was like, oh, that's fantastic. Still to this day, it's one of the best bets I've ever placed. The fact that it won was even better. The fact that it won was even better. I'm trying to think what some other wicked bets.
Auskick. Who doesn't love betting?
Oh, yes.
During the football when the little kids are playing and you bet on random teams.
So here in Australia, at an Australian rules football match, I'm going to keep hiccuping through this. At an Australian rules football match, one of the things that we like to have a bit of a punt on is at halftime, the kids come out and play footy for about 5 or 10 minutes, and we like to bet on which team. It's like red and blue,
yeah.
And so we like to bet on which team's going to score next, or which team's going to score the next goal or something.
You know what would be epic is if you knew kids and you actually bribed them to play.
Yeah, you bribe them to play well, or bribe them to play rubbish.
Did you ever play?
I played.
You did Auskick?
Yeah, I did Auskick as a kid.
Did it, yes.
I did.
I did it. I remember I was way too big for the uniform.
Yeah.
And it was like barely on. But I kicked the first goal in the game off the ground in some fluky fucking thing.
I got really lucky. I think I did that Auskick on the ground at halftime. I think I did it. I think I had 3 or 4 I think I did it 3 or 4 times.
Wow.
So I got.
Did you hiccup then?
Yes, I did. I think. Yeah. So, yeah. No. Yeah. So, what other crazy stuff?
Okay. Cockroach racing.
Sorry.
Cockroach racing.
Cockroach racing.
Yeah. It was like some recorded thing. So we found. I think it was on Australia Day, they had on TV something about cockroach racing.
Yeah.
And then so we found that. And then one day we were watching it and then we loaded it up on YouTube, like the one from 5 years before, and bet on the cockroach racing blind. One of my favorite ones ever was a 20-year-old cricket match that happened to be on in some random bar.
Yeah.
Your brother and I, we bet on random teams.
Yeah, I'm trying to think what else. I remember one day there was a race meet going on somewhere and they cancelled it because there were kangaroos jumping around. And everyone was basically saying, just put numbers on the kangaroos so we can bet on whether they go first past the post or not. Can you imagine just betting on kangaroos racing?
We should have bet on the amount of hiccups you would have done in this.
The over-under would be about probably 40, I'd say.
You gotta love just trying to set a line for different.
It's good fun setting lines for things.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think if I've had any interesting. The over under on certain things is on the number of times something happens is always good.
What I always find amazing is how accurate the real one, like in big sports, they are. Like, how the fuck do they know? To insane accuracy, given how random it is, like that a football game is going to be this amount of points.
Yeah. That was a good one, actually.
Yes.
I don't know. Do you have any idea how they know?
Well, obviously they have some formula to it.
They clearly have a formula or do some research one way or the other to work out what happens. So I bet you they wouldn't work out a formula and what the line is for how many times I hiccup in the next 10 minutes. I feel like
they would get it pretty accurate.
You reckon they'd get it accurate?
Yeah.
No, I don't reckon they'd have a chance.
All right. Well, I was meant to ask this before, but then forgot during that interview. But anyway, so I want to come out of the closet as a flat earth believer.
You're a flat earth believer?
Yeah. Guess why?
What? Why are you a flat Earth believer?
Well, I studied the science, and one thing finally convinced me as to why I, like many others, believe in the flat Earth.
Yep. Why is that?
It all comes down to one thing:
What's that?
money. You see, everyone in flat Earth seems to be selling a whole heap of random shit, and there's absolutely every type of merchandise you could ever think of.
Yep.
And I feel like that. Sure, you get some dumb, stupid people, but a large majority of them believe in it. Well, at least the senior whatever believer people for money, so they can sell ridiculous merchandise.
So basically, they have this just so they can make a shit ton of cash.
I think if they were honest, I mean, you look at the amount of random shit that they sell, like T-shirts, clothing of all kinds, condoms, strap-ons.
There's a flat Earth.
I don't think there's a flat Earth strap-on, but that's mine.
Can you imagine if there was? It'd actually have to be flat. It'd have to be flat.
Yeah.
It'd have to be flat.
This is my flat Earth strap-on, and hey girl, you want to see the flat Earth?
The flat Earth. That's a good opening line, actually. That's a good opening line.
Really, you should try it then. Imagine
we should get someone to try that line, actually. Hey, do you want to see my flat Earth? That's a good one. It's a good line to open with. Sure.
I would love to see the reaction of someone.
Who knows what kind of reaction you'd get? You could get anything. The reactions would be, you'd be like, from what the fuck to fuck yes, show me your flat Earth, baby.
You could go up to someone and say that, look, I used to believe in the flat Earth, but you're so round, you convinced me.
Oh, that's so good. Right. Flat Earth. Oh, what else have we got now that you're a flat Earth believer?
Well, we can go with continuance conspiracy theories or accurate representations of the world that I believe in for money. Las Vegas.
What a place.
Yeah, but what the fuck happened with that shooting that seems to just have ignored, and it's like, it happened and now let's just pretend that nothing's happened.
Well, you know why? You know why it's pretended that nothing happens?
Because of the casinos.
Is because...
And they're going to get sued, but they...
Is because...
in tourism as well, obviously.
Is because shit like that just unfortunately happens far too often.
Yeah, but still, there's got to be a reason why some random dude does that.
I, as a motivator, always try and find the motivation behind things. Why the hell someone would want to get a semi-automatic gun and shoot it out of a hotel room?
Not one. They had a whole stockpile.
Well, whatever. A stockpile of them and just shoot it randomly out of a hotel is beyond me.
Yeah, but surely they had some reason.
I mean,
like, at the end of the day, you're not just going to randomly do that. There's got to be some explanation to it, and they would have to know.
And clearly, I can't think of why you would want to do that, but anyway.
Well, there are clearly reasons why.
Well, you're right. Clearly there is, and there are reasons that neither of us can think of.
Well, no, we can think of them. We can't understand them, but we can think of them, and surely they can
wrong.
Think of
what even the reasons we might think could be completely wrong.
Clearly, they would know. Like, clearly, people know what the fuck happened, and usually with something like that, people know, or it comes out that this is what happened. So why the fuck has it not come out that this guy did it? Because
they probably don't want something like that happening again.
But how's that going to make it happen again?
Well, if someone's someone's in that mindset in the first place, you don't want to give others who may be in that mindset a reason to act in that kind of way.
That's not giving them a reason. It's almost if you're giving the reason why they did it, then you can explain why that is a stupid reason.
Yeah, but someone might find out why and think, oh, then I can go and do that for that reason. Even if it's completely ridiculous.
If they were going to do that, they would do it anyway.
Probably, but the less reasons and the less attention you give to something, the less likely things are to happen, probably.
I guess, yeah. I guess they take the what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas way too serious.
Well, you kind of have. I think you kind of have to in this situation. Is that the less attention?
Not really.
Well, unless you get herpes, then that shit will stay with you forever.
Yeah. Speaking of which, so what has happened with you in Vegas?
Well, I've been to Vegas.
Yeah, no shit. That's why I'm asking you.
I know.
I
know. Multiple times actually. And all I can say is I had a fucking good time in Las Vegas.
Yeah, well,
all I did
explain?
For 2.5, 3 days was drink, gamble, and party. And that's all you should ever do in Las Vegas. Is drink, gamble, and party.
A story of
one story. Yeah. Okay. So, in fact, this was basically my entire Las Vegas trip because I didn't have
hiccups.
So I had
what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas, except for hiccups.
Yeah, true. I don't want to tell the story because this.
Just tell it.
I basically all I did was I drank, gambled, and partied for 2.5, 3 days straight. That's all I did pretty much. And in Vegas, all that constitute is getting drunk, gambling at whatever table you walk up to, and going to nightclubs and partying and drinking, like most other people would. So,
well,
it's just a matter.
Actually, sounds boring.
Well, it can sound boring. It's just I had a fucking good time doing it, and it's just as they say, dreams do really come true sometimes.
That's all your dreams are.
Well,
to go there, drink, party, and not have some story that's even interesting enough to tell, then that's pretty sad.
Well, I like to keep some of my stories to myself.
Well, that's boring.
So, but all I can say is about Las Vegas.
That's the best motto to have for a podcast is keep your stories to yourself.
All right, I'll tell. Okay, all right. So, the last day I spent in Vegas, I woke up at 10 and gambled for... I somehow woke up at 10 a.m. in the morning and walked straight down to the casino and started gambling.
Yeah.
And I did not stop gambling until I had dinner at 6 p.m. And then once I stopped gambling, once I'd finished dinner, I went straight back to gambling again. So I gambled for probably about 12 hours minus an hour for dinner. And then at which point somehow I was winning money. Don't ask me how, because that's not meant to happen when you're in Las Vegas. And then once I was done gambling, I went partying at a nightclub, at which, for some reason, they love it when you're an Aussie in Las Vegas. They love you, and people just want to talk to you and get to know you. And so I was partying with these girls, and we had a good time. To cut a long story short, I ended up back in the hotel room at about 3:30, 4 a.m. in the morning, having more drinks and
hiccuping.
Having more the occasional hiccup and having a damn good time. And then I decided, all right, I've had enough fun with you girls. I'm going to piss off. And I went back to the casino and kept gambling until I had to get on a plane, in which somehow I won more money. And probably one of the best parts was I was playing poker. And usually when you play poker, you look at your cards, right? When you look to play.
Yes.
I didn't look at my cards. I didn't bother looking at my cards. Now, you could argue that's also one of the most stupidest gambling things I've ever done as well. I
don't think you'd really have to argue that. You'd probably...
But guess what? I kept winning. It was hilarious. I couldn't lose. I couldn't actually lose. All I was doing was just gambling and betting, and people were folding. And I'd get to the river and I'd throw my cards over. And 8 times out of 10, I had the best hand. Even if it there was
Did the other people know you weren't looking at the cards?
yes, and they were getting more and more pissed off as it kept going. It was hilarious. One other guy decided to join in with me and start punting without looking.
Yeah.
And so we had like entire hands that we didn't look at our cards. We're basically just gambling on the flip of cards.
It's a way to do it.
But it really pisses off the rest of the table, which is kind of funny, especially when you're running really good and you've got like when you've got like 4-9 offsuit and there's 2 9s on the board, and suddenly you've got like a set on the river and you don't even know it. You throw the first card and go, oh, that's a set. Oh shit, that's a full house or something.
Jesus.
So that was after I'd finished playing poker and winning about 400, I just went straight to the airport and went straight to the next city. So when I tell people that story, they go, wow, it can actually happen sometimes. I'm like, yeah, you can have a really good night. You can have a fucking amazing time
I'm also
sometimes.
going to say, wow, I don't know why the fuck you wouldn't have just told that story, because there was nothing even remotely within there worth not explaining.
Well, true. I've told the story. You can cut out the rest of the other shit if you want prior to that.
No, we're keeping it in there for reference of what a fucking moron you are that you didn't want to tell a story that isn't even remotely embarrassing.
Well, then I realized it wasn't as bad as
it wasn't
what
like you
I
got
thought it
drunk and
was.
fell in a fountain or some shit and got arrested. Or
See, yeah. See, the person who I was traveling to Las Vegas with may or may not have done something like that. So
what, they fell in a fountain?
Yeah, they were pretty close. They were stumbling around and kind of got halfway into a fountain, and then I kind of half saved them. So,
oh wow,
yeah.
Well, you had to jump in and save.
Well, I didn't jump into the fountain. I just kind of pulled. They kind of like got halfway in, and I just grabbed them and pulled them out. So,
well, they were wasted.
They were pretty fucking drunk, to be honest.
Crazy.
And then they decided to pick up a random person off Las Vegas Boulevard and go sleep with them. It just seems like the done thing to do.
Yeah.
So,
well, one time when I was there, my friend and I were walking around and we walk into this, just a random bar in a casino, just like a casino bar. It wasn't like a themed one or one where you had to wait to go. Nothing fancy. And this like 50-year-old Australian guy comes up to us and points, he's like, do either of you two know how to do a one-armed push-up? And I look at my friend and he's like, yeah. And he's like, no way you couldn't do it. And he's like, no, I can. And he's like, no way you couldn't do it. And then he's like, okay, all right, fine, I'll do it. And then it gets to the point where the guy yells out to the whole bar and he's like, everybody, he says he can do a one-arm push-up. Yeah. And then my friend gets down and does the push-up and the whole bar is cheering him on and going crazy. It was the most random shit.
That's just completely random.
Yeah, it is. Another time, my friend and I, so we went there to film this thing with the show. Blanking on the name. Fuck, I can't think of the name. Anyway, a UK TV show for the Channel 4, I think, or whatever. Yeah. Anyway, and we're supposed to go party in the in Vegas. Yeah. Except they chose a random Tuesday in winter when it was just a random Tuesday, like there was no one fucking there, no one around, and they're filming and they're like, okay, talk to people. And there's no one fucking coming past in any direction. And we're mic'd up and have to like talk to people. And we're going out of our way trying to get people and whatnot, and there's just no one fucking around. And so it's like looking quiet. And then my friend who's meant to be like pumping us up and whatever, and like he's meant to look professional, looks like this fucking loser. So then he starts getting angry and he's like telling us off, and he came over and was like, you guys are supposed to fucking represent me and like party well and show that you're like good friends and whatever. And then he walks off, and then I say to my other friend, "Oh, why is he being such a dick?" And then I realize that, oh fuck, the other person is mic'd. Fortunately, the whole thing got cut and none of it made it to air. But and we just had a random fucking crazy time. And because of that, like I'd flown in that day, so I didn't sleep the night before. And basically, we were out still at like 2 a.m. Before that, earlier in the night, we were this guy, my friend, he spilled a little bit of wine but then cleaned it up.
Yeah.
And this other guy went and told on him, like out of nowhere. So we were all like kind of pissed at this guy. So then he like later on is calling us and saying, "Oh, where are you guys at?" And we say, "Oh yeah, we're out." And we say we're at the other end of the strip.
Yeah.
So he then like 45 minutes later is calling us. He's like, "Oh, where are you? I'm here now." And we're like, "Oh, no, bro. We moved to another place."
Yeah.
And then he's calling, then he goes to there and we're like, no, we're not there anymore. Yeah. But yeah, anyway, so we were there like really late. You know, like 3 or 4 a.m. The only people really walking around are like prostitutes, either on their way to go somewhere or they're on their way back, and they look like absolute trash.
Shit, yeah.
And then my friend was proposing to randoms as we walked around.
That's good.
Yeah. Then we was trying to start chancing casinos, so we'd just be going like, yes, and then trying to make like, if my friend would like try to propose, I would be like, "Guys, can you all just take a moment here and like get everyone around involved and be like, this is really serious. They've been dating forever." And meanwhile, there's someone that they met 10 seconds ago. And then my friend's down on one knee proposing, and they're like, "Guys, this is really big. These guys are true lovebirds. They've known each other for so long." And then everyone's like, "Oh, that's so amazing," and clapping and cheering. And
it's amazing what you can get people to believe in this day and age.
Yeah. My foot is still fucked from that because we did firewalking there.
Oh yeah.
And not from firewalking, because firewalking is a load of shit.
Yeah.
But essentially where we did the firewalking, they had like all these prickles on the ground. And so like the prickles would get stuck in your foot and you'd be like, "Ah, fuck." Yeah. And you'd actually enjoy the firewalking because the coals didn't have that shit on it.
Prickles.
Yeah.
Oh, stupid. But anyway.
It was, crazy times.
Fuck, gotta love Las Vegas.
Yeah.
I do love Vegas.
Another time we stayed in this place that had it was a suite that my friend got from gambling so much. And my friend had specifically requested the room.
Yep.
We got there and they gave him another room. And then he was like pissed off, like, "Oh, this is not the room I want the other room." They then switch us to this other suite. And they were like, "You sure you want to do that?" Later on, we're there and like he started talking to one of the people working there, and they're like, "That room is haunted." And then my friend swears that he saw a ghost at night, but I don't believe it.
I mean, we've all heard crazy stuff happens in Vegas.
Yeah.
It wouldn't surprise me with the shit that's happened in that town, the people have been through it, that half the joint is haunted.
I don't know. I don't believe in things being haunted.
It could, like anything could be possible with that place.
I guess anything is possible, but at the same time, being haunted is a bit extreme.
It is a bit extreme. That is true.
I also still have a coin that someone gave, a chip that someone gave me that was their they brought it because it's their lucky chip, and the whole weekend they had it. They said that they lost whatever, and like the guy. I was sitting there in the sports book, basically watching this guy just lose constantly on horse races because he'd be like, "Yeah, fuck," and be like hitting the table and whatever. Yeah. And then at one point he like slammed the chip into the thing and he's like, "This is supposed to be fucking lucky, whatever, blah, blah, blah." Yeah. And then when he walked off, he gave me the chip and he's like, "This is no fucking good. You take it." Haven't had any bad luck from it. So
that's good.
It's not cursed.
Yeah, that's good to hear.
So that's what happens in Las Vegas. Finally, this dickhead's hiccups have stopped.
Yes, I have stopped.
The worst time.
Hiccuping.
Now that we're going to stop.
Yes.
When he stops hiccuping, that means the show ends. So good night, goodbye. Enjoy your fourth place. Hopefully you watched this while taking a very long shit and it helped you ease out the shit. which is a super poo, and now you're going to turn someone else into something super healthy with your super poo. So catch it, eat it. I don't know if it works if you eat your own super poo.
I'm sure
Maybe
it
you
does.
can find out. I'm not encouraging you to, because I feel like legally you probably should say that don't eat your own poo.
So yeah, I think that's good. So good night from
The fourth
the fourth place.